Hi guys, Mama Mita here, and today I am making a green bean stew with buttered rice.
I feel good.
So now there's different ways to do this green bean stew, and my background on the green bean stew comes from when I was very young, and my mother-in-law from the Middle East, from Lebanon, would make this green bean stew. Now, she used, for her spices, she put a little allspice and a little bit of cinnamon. I am not using that. And the Greeks sometimes, they put carrots. I like carrots, and, I'm going to use carrots, but I'm not going to be using the allspice and the other spices that she used. I'm going to be using basil. So let's get started on this. So the first thing you want to do is you're going to fry up. Let's hope this stove comes on and stays on. Sometimes it's kind of tricky once they go off. Anyway, so we're going to heat that up, and we're going to use about 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Put that in there, and then I'm going to take my onions. I've cut up onions, and I've cut up some green onions, white onions, and a little bit of carrots, and a little bit of parsley, and I'm going to throw that in there with some garlic, and I'll fry that up in there. Well, simmer it. Anyway.
A few moments later.
But you don't have to put the carrots. I like the carrots, and the kids like the carrots. This is one of the kids' favorite dish to eat, is the green bean stew. And if I don't have meat, sometimes I just do the green beans. Oh boy, they like that one too. It's funny because I tell them I've got that I've cooked for them and I made the green beans. They love green beans, and so I just drive up to their house and honk the horn, and they run outside to get it. Grandkids. Okay, and so I let that simmer, and then after that I would add the meat and let the meat brown up a little bit. So I'll stop the video and I'll come back. Okay, so now I've got the meat in, and it's been cooking. So let me see if I can pull this off so you can see that. Ooh, jeez. Okay. So you see that? Okay. So now at that point, you can make them a little bit browner. But they're pretty much getting to the point that I should go ahead and put the green beans in. So then I've got the green beans. Okay. And I used frozen green beans. Put those in, and you're going to stir them around until they get defrosted. They'll be like just really hot, and they'll start getting wilty. And so at that point, then you'll be ready to add the tomato sauce with that. So now I'm going to add some pepper, and I'm going to add the basil. And in this case, I'm using 1.5 tablespoons of basil. I just let that kind of cook down a little bit, and then put a little bit of salt there. Okay, we're going to let those cook a little bit more, about maybe say, probably like about 8 more minutes. So while that's cooking, I'm going to switch the pans over. Okay, so now the green beans have been cooking and they look pretty good. So I'm ready to add the tomato sauce. So what I did on this, usually the Middle East they usually add tomato, sauce made even. They might even use the tomato paste mixed with water and stuff. But in this case, I am just using. I had some pasta, and so I'm using leftover sauce. That's all I did, just leftover sauce that I'm putting with that. And then I will add the tomatoes. Okay. So mix that in there. And then I'm going to add some tomatoes. And I'm going to put that on a really low, the lowest one on the burner. And then I'm going to put the lid on it. So it basically is just like that. Okay, let me see if I can get this in here. Okay, so that's all it is. Just kind of like a little sauce with the tomatoes and the meat in there. All right, so I'm gonna put the lid on that, and I'm gonna let that simmer for about maybe 15 minutes at the max. Okay, just to the tomatoes, the fresh tomatoes, they sweat into the sauce and stuff, and then they kind of cook down a little bit. So I'm gonna leave them like that, and then I'm gonna go ahead and start on the butter rice. Okay, so on the butter rice, what I do is I put 6 tablespoons of butter and I melt it. Okay, and then I'm going to use 2 cups of rice. Just went to the store yesterday and I couldn't believe it. This was the only box they had in the store. I was like, goodness sakes, they're out of rice. They were really busy. So I'm just going to use 2 cups of that Uncle Ben's rice. And while that's heating up, put the 2 cups of rice in there. And then I'm going to use some angel hair pasta. Not that much, just a little bit. And I'm going to take and I'm going to mix that up in there. And I'm going to kind of like fry it, with the butter. Stuff gets kind of messy. Until it gets, nice and hot. You want it to be like golden. Remember the rice-a-roni, the San Francisco? Every time I make this stuff, I remember that rice-a-roni. Well, and back in the 50s and 60s, we used to sing all those little jingles. The Oscar Mayer Wiener jingle, all those. Okay, so when it gets like golden, at that point, then we will add the hot water. And I'm going to be adding 4 cups of hot water to the 2 cups of the rice. Okay. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, so now my rice is starting to get brown on the bottom. If I can pull that up for you. You can see that it's starting to get golden on the bottom. So at that point, I'm going to add the 4 cups of water, hot water, very hot water. Then 1 teaspoon of salt. I'm going to stir that up. You want to make sure the water is very hot. Stir that up, and that's it. Then at that point, I wait for a few seconds here for it to start to boil. The green beans are almost done over here. Okay, so now my rice is cooking. So I'm going to put it on the lowest one. And I put my lid on it. And I leave it for 20 minutes and we'll be back.
A few minutes later.
Okay, we're back. Let me put this vent off because this thing's so loud I can't even hear myself think. Anyway, we're back. So, the rice is done. And the green beans is done. Let me let you take a closer look at this. Okay. There you go. Look at that rice. Now that was 20 minutes on that rice. Looks nice. And then the green bean stew. All I did was just, put the lid on it and let that simmer. And then I turned it off after about 15 minutes. I turned it off and just let those sweat in there.
Sweat till you can't sweat no more. And if you cry out, I'm gonna push some more.
Came out really nice. Okay, so now let's see how it is. Whoop, I can get this thing to stand up here now. Jeez. Okay, let's get a big spoon here. Test this rice out. Okay. And then we're going to do a little bit of and this is easy. It's very economical to make. And you're not going out to the restaurant and spending a lot of money, Hate to tell you guys this, but when you go to those restaurants, you know how much money that they're taking from you? Quite a bit. Look at that now. Yep. Looks good. Yeah. You're saving a lot of money by cooking at home. You really are. Plus, you know what you're eating. When you go to the restaurants, you don't know how long it's been in the freezer or who's cooked it or whatever. And right now, with this virus out there, we got to be super careful. And anyway, but you are saving money by not going to the restaurant and staying home and cooking your own food. And now is the time to save money, guys. Cash is king, not the plastic. Sometimes, we go out because, for whatever reason we want to go out. Maybe if you go for an anniversary or birthday, I can understand that. But every 2 or 3 times a week going out to eat, that'll eat a hole in your pocket. Jeez, And if you're putting that plastic down, at the end of the month, it comes up, your bill comes up, and boy, that's a lot of money. And then if you're just paying the minimum amount, whoa, boy, you're really in trouble then, because then you're paying not the meal, you're paying for the interest on the card. Who needs that? Remember, you guys, you got to save money. This is a new year. Now it's time to save money. Stay home and cook your own really good, delicious meals. Okay, so let's try this and see how this is. Still kind of hot. Woo! Don't want to get burned here, but anyway, let's see how this is. Put my camera back up here. Okay. Final judge. Hot though. Oh my gosh. That's really good. Good thing it's almost 10 o'clock. I might have to have early lunch. Maybe an afternoon snack too. This stuff is really good. You guys, thank you for watching my video. If you like my video, please give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe, because I'm going to show you a few things on how to cook some really good meals, reasonably priced, and get you out from spending all that money at the restaurants. Don't do that.
Stop it. Get some help.
Thank you so much. Have a great day. We'll see you later. Bye now.